time to be involved in such an historic anniversary. Now, the Blue Mountains is a linear city, divided east-west by the two transport corridors of the Great Western Highway and the Blue Mountains rail line. Having 16 train stations to visit during the election campaign, which I don't think my opposition did, I learned a thing or two about our train line. Mr. Speaker, you may not be aware that one of the biggest issues for the Blue Mountains was the deplorable state of the passenger services and the increased travelling time. Some commuters travel over 2 hours each way to work in Sydney. Our very capable Transport Minister has recognised this and has committed to improving these services. The Blue Mountains is also made up of 28 separate townships, unique in their own right, placed along the highway and railway like a string of pearls, none standing out more than any other, but together forming what I consider is the most beautiful electorate in this great state of ours. I've heard it debated already, but I think mine is the best. The residents are very parochial and with a strong sense of community. Each township and village has its own character. One of the reasons the Blue Mountains is such a popular tourist destination. Blue Mountains is a wonderful place to raise a family and a wonderful place to visit. Each of these towns and villages deserves the attention of a hard-working, honest and enthusiastic Member of Parliament, which I strive to be. The Blue Mountains provided a natural wall for the early settlement of Sydney to keep the convicts in. A way around the Blue Mountains was discovered 16 years earlier than the famous Blackstone, Lawson and Wentworth crossing by John Wilson, a little-known fact. John Wilson was a former convict who made an expedition, knowledge of which was suppressed by the then Governor Hunter for fear of convicts finding a way out of Sydney. Can I say that 200 years on... Mr. Speaker, can I ask for an extension of time?
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Please continue.
Can I say that 200 years on, I'm sure the Governor would not mind me informing the Parliament that there is a way through the Blue Mountains out of Sydney. But may I encourage all members present and all of the public to come and visit our beautiful city and enjoy the World Heritage listed area. Visit the Three Sisters rock formations, the waterfalls at Wentworth Falls, and ride the cable car across Jamison Valley at Scenic World at Katoomba. Or enjoy a leisurely lunch or coffee at the many great cafes and restaurants. There are so many other jewels to explore that I don't have time to mention them all. An announcement of an extra $5 million for regional tourism is certainly welcome among the Blue Mountains tourist operators. The Blue Mountains is also a city of the arts, with many renowned painters, performers, musicians and writers calling it home. There are the heritage-listed properties of Sir Henry Parkes, the founder of Federation, of Norman Lindsay, the famous artist and author of the Love children's book, The Magic Pudding, and the former house of Eleanor Dark, the novelist, which is now used as a writer's retreat for writers from all around the world. There is such a richness of culture and natural attractions, it is little wonder that the residents of the Blue Mountains are very protective of and parochial toward their area. But it is foremost the people who make the Blue Mountains what it is. There is a strong emphasis on volunteering in the community, and I acknowledge all these dedicated people. In particular, I would mention the emergency services volunteers. The rural fire services are of vital importance in my electorate, being the most bushfire-prone area in the state. These are the nucleus of many communities. We also have a very active state emergency service. I have personally been on the receiving end of both of their services. I also acknowledge the many bush care and land care groups which volunteer their time to restore degraded bush areas. I confess to a particular interest as I am a member of my local Warramoo Reserve Bush Care group. I have met with the Blue Mountains Bush Care Committee and I must report that they are very, very excited about the Liberal National statewide commitment of $10 million for these groups. It is precisely for this reason I stepped forward to nominate as candidate for Blue Mountains. I felt that after 16 years of hard labour, we in the Blue Mountains had been neglected long enough. There was a strong feeling among the people that change was needed. after a hard-fought campaign, door-knocking in 40-degree heat, in rain, and in street stalls in Blackheath in 5-degree cold, the people of the Blue Mountains cast their vote and cast aside a tired, scandal-ridden Labor government for a fresh, energetic Liberal Nationalist government that will make New South Wales a #1 state again. Yeah. Now, no man is an island, and I wish to take a few moments to thank the hard-working, dedicated team that assisted in my election to this great place. Firstly, I thank my long-suffering family, my husband Ted, my daughter Emma and her husband Stuart and grandson Archie, my daughters Charlotte and Isabel, for their love, support, encouragement and patience. I know the corflute in the living room wasn't a good substitute for all those months of campaigning, but it was worth it in the end. I wish to thank Diane Maris, my campaign director, who's supported me through thick and thin, and there was a lot of that. To Jeff Egan for the brilliant media campaign, to Councillor Chris van der Clay, whose help was invaluable. These people I do see in the gallery. To those volunteers who manned our campaign office, Betty Smith, Jim Keane, Dorothy Brandley, Cliff Newman, Christine Bartlett and Peter Olsen. To our catering crew on the day, an army can't march without its food. Carolyn Newman, my mother, who has come from Queensland to be here. My daughter Isabel, and to all those who stood at polling booths on election day and at pre-poll. I especially wish to thank my hard-working local Young Liberal team of Brendan Christie, Alex McDonald, Dylan Barnes, Rhys Goronsky, James Beckett, Sean Stoneman, Elliot Ryan, Tim Robinson, Tian Waddy and Amy Richards. To our flying squad, who were a tremendous help. I give special thanks to my wonderful mentors, Michael Richardson, retired member for Castle Hill, who was also our duty MP, and our fantastic former federal member, Kerry Bartlett. To all my federal and now state parliamentary colleagues who came out to the Blue Mountains to door knock with me, stand at street stalls and train stations. Your generosity in giving up your time from already busy schedules, your support and your confidence in me was very sincerely appreciated. I feel the need to make a very special mention of Senator Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, who managed to break her arm all in the line of duty while door knocking with me. We spent many hours testing the health system at Nepean Hospital, and I am pleased to report her arm is healing very nicely. It may seem to be a stretch of the friendship to ask the Senator to revisit the streets of Winmalee at the next election, but to her credit, she has graciously promised to return. I must say, one of the best experiences of the campaign was in the last week when energies were flagging. To see that big Start the Change bus come through the Blue Mountains and stop at Springwood, to see our state parliamentary representatives, both Liberal and Nationals, many of whom are in this chamber, was such an encouragement. Finally, I must thank the people of the Blue Mountains who supported me and had placed their faith in me on the 26th of March. I will always strive to represent you with integrity and compassion, and above all, never take you for granted. For 16 years, those opposite have squandered our once Premier state, and this has been felt hard in Blue Mountains along with the rest of New South Wales. The result of the election last month shows that the public viewed the Labor government with the revolving doors of premiers and ministers as having lost their way. And as a dentist, I am proud to be part of the extraction of a rotten, inept and tired Labor government. But I do not take my election to this place lightly. I will always strive to work hard for the people of Blue Mountains. Already my office is assisting with the constant stream of constituents who are in need. Time is not on our side, and I will not waste one moment in fighting for the best results for the people of the Blue Mountains. Thank you. Thanks, Greg. Thank you. Well done.
Well done, Roza. Well done. Beautiful. Straight away.
Congratulations. Congratulations. So proud. Congratulations. Great speech. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Thanks. Yeah, no, actually, cheese, scooping.
This is still coming up.
Well, I was watching
While members are moving out of the chamber or in, I'd like to welcome in the gallery today, there you all, up there. Hello. Hi. We have 55 Year 6 students from Willoughby Public School, guests of the member for Willoughby, Gladys Berejiklian. Welcome to Parliament. I hope you enjoy the day. The question is the address in reply to the Governor's opening speech. I call the